I want to thank Marshawn and his family for being with us today. It's great to see you, and it's great to have you here. A couple of minutes ago, I was just saying, I love police departments. I love fire chiefs and fireplaces, and it's not just television. It's like what we are here. We are a safety net. We think we're indispensable to this community, and I would view our fire and police exactly the same way. We could not enjoy this great city of St. Paul, enjoy the great county of Ramsey County, without having a strong fire and police department, and we're very fortunate to have them. But what it takes is a collaboration with those in the community, with our role, with their respective roles, and we're very grateful, and we want to acknowledge that today. We're going to start. I want to introduce Aaron Burnett, who's one of our emergency and our EMS leaders. I don't call anybody a doctor, but if I did, I'd call it Dr. Burnett.
Thank you. Medicine is a dynamic science. As new information is developed through research, physicians at the bedside are tasked with translating this knowledge to the patient's side. However, when you call 911, physicians are not the first at the bedside, and many patients need life-saving interventions without delay. In these cases, we turn to the pre-hospital professionals who are joining us today. They are the ones who can take action in those first few minutes to stop the bleeding and save a life. In St. Paul, we are lucky to have progressive police and fire departments who are willing to adapt their practice as new science emerges. Prioritizing the deployment of tourniquets on all St. Paul Police Department squad cars and all St. Paul Fire Department ambulances is an example of leadership. Marshawn's case is one in which seconds mattered, and the actions of the pre-hospital team were both choreographed and flawless. I would like to introduce the police chief in the city of St. Paul, Chief Smith.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for being here. Marshawn, thanks for being here with Mom today. We're really proud that you're here with us today. And, you know, as Doc spoke about, partnerships are a really important thing. And I'm really excited to be here today with St. Paul police officers, our partner from Regions, and the St. Paul Fire Department. You couldn't ask for a better partnership, my friends. When tragic events happen in our city, there's no one that I want to see quicker than my fire brethren, my fire brothers and sisters, along with St. Paul police officers. But when I really want help, and after that initial triage and initial help, I want to get down here to my friends at Regions Hospital that just do an exceptional job for the city of St. Paul. We should give them all a round of applause. You know, this afternoon we're pleased to celebrate the good health of a young boy, Marshawn Robinson, who's sitting right in front with us with his mom today, who suffered a traumatic injury last August. One of the things that we've worked together with Regions Hospital, St. Paul Fire Department, and the St. Paul Police Department, every St. Paul police officer and every fire rig in the city of St. Paul now carries this little kit. This kit includes a tourniquet, gauze, and other things that you really need when you first come upon an injury situation on the street. It looks small, but I gotta tell you, what's in this bag right here saves lives. Whether it's stopping bleeding because of a tourniquet, gauze pad, tape, some of the basic simple things that we need every single day. And I want to thank our partners at Regions Hospital that also provided a video for our department so that we've been able to teach and instruct every St. Paul police officer how to use this tourniquet. You'll hear about this more in just in a second here. A few months, by the way, before this accident happened, we didn't have those tourniquets in the car. And the outcome of what happened during this incident could have been much different. Again, I talked about Regions Hospital providing a training video for us, but what happened on the day that Marshawn was injured, St. Paul police officers, Marshal Titus, Sergeant Casey, were a couple of the first people to arrive. And Marshal had his tourniquet with him. And he came across Marshawn and wanted to give first aid right away, and that's exactly what he did. And he was able to take that tourniquet and help to stop the profuse bleeding that hopefully, that's why Marshawn's here with us today, because he took those actions, had the training, had the kit, and that's what's so important, because like I said, a couple months before that, we don't have this with us. In seconds, matter in medical line of work, and in our line of work, seconds matter. He was able to put the tourniquets on Marshawn, and then our fire and EMS partners showed up on scene and were able to provide further medical assistance to Marshawn, and because of that, we've got a happy ending here today. But I want to do one thing. This is really important before I recognize the officers and the EMS personnel. Let's give Marshawn a round of applause. Thanks, Marshawn, for being here. And finally, I want to extend my gratitude to the people that made a difference that day. They didn't hesitate, not for 1 second. They knew they had a real critical incident on their hands, and they had to take immediate action. And they did so decisively and with confidence, because they'd already had that training because of those partnerships that we've talked about already. I want to recognize Officer Marshal Titus, Captain Randy Lundberg from St. Paul Fire, Paramedic Kelly Madigan, Paramedic Wally Berry, and EMT Larry Bartlett. Because of you, we've got a young man here today that's going to have a long and successful life with Mom, and hopefully someday he can work with us as well. Sky's the limit, Marshawn, always. Let's recognize our officers and Marshal Titus and our firefighters. And I want to close with, they're pretty humble guys. You know, Marshall is humble officer. Our fire brothers and sisters are humble people. But you know what? In a pinch, my friends, there's nobody better. Thank you for that. Thank you for having the opportunity to talk to you this morning or this afternoon, Marshawn. And with this, I'd like to introduce Fire EMS Assistant Chief Matt Simpson. Matt.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you for Dr. Burnett, everybody that's been involved in these process of getting these tourniquets out. It's been a phenomenal approach that we've been able to take through a combination of training, be it the efforts of active shooter that we've been doing, and especially in this case, the officers started by going back to their knowledge of what they had to do. And it's great that you're here with us. Really is. I can't comment on the chief enough as to his remarks. So great job for being here. What I would like to do is show you how the tourniquet is applied, where we apply it, when we apply it, and I think if we want to scoot that stretcher over this way, it'd probably be easier if I step down from here. They're called cat tourniquets, and every officer and fire department vehicle carries one with them. If you remember, not too long back, there was an officer, St. Paul police officer, that was shot in line of duty. He actually applied one of these to his own arm, which was great. That's exactly what saved his life. We have two series of bones in our forearms and 2 series of bones in our lower leg. And so the purpose of the tourniquet, obviously, is to constrict, to get that blood to stop. So we have to go above the elbow or above the knee, because there's a solid bone here and a solid bone in your upper leg. So what we do, if we have a traumatic event to a lower extremity or an upper extremity below the elbow, what we can do, we apply the tourniquet again above, and it just applies the Velcro. And then there's a little a stick. We've all seen them in movies, basically, and it's held on by nylon. And this is the painful part, but it does save lives. Is you turn and apply pressure until that bleeding stops. If we apply it down here, again, those bones are separated, so you can't get it tight enough to stop that bleeding. So that's why we put it above the injury. So once we get it to the point where it's tight enough, there's a little locking mechanism that we do, and we apply it with this Velcro strap. We also put another piece of tape on here just in case that Velcro pops during transport. And then we also write the time on here so that we know, the doctors know what time we applied it and how much time they have to work with the injury to save that limb if it's possible. Any questions on the whys, the hows? It's a very simple piece of equipment, but very very important to our line of work. Saves a lot of lives. So.
No, I just want to thank you and congratulate everyone that's here and everyone that participated in this really significant event. And you know, this is a real challenge, and it's just a sad situation. but the consequences could have been so much worse if we had not had some of the best first responders, I think, of anywhere in the country. You know, we have a young man here who's with us today, and at the end of the day, that's what matters most, is you're with us here today, and we wanted to say we're so glad, we're sad that we had the situation, but so happy that we have this incredible crew, our EMS personnel, our police officers, our firefighters, but it's the teamwork, it's the relationship that we have with this incredible facility here at Regions that really is amazing. So it just, you know, it just gives me kind of great thanks that we live in a community that is investing in its resources, that continues to do that, and outcomes that could have been much worse turn out to be much better because we work together and we have that kind of partnership. So to everyone at Regions, to our EMS personnel, to our emergency responders and officers, thank you so much for being a part of this. Thank you.
On behalf of Regions Hospital, I have some certificates to present to the pre-hospital personnel who are involved in this case. I'd like to present a Lifesaver Award to Officer Marshall Titus for heroic and life-saving actions in treating a pediatric trauma patient in the city of St. Paul on August 15th, 2013. To paramedic Wally for heroic and life-saving actions in treating a pediatric trauma patient in the city of St. Paul on August 15th, 2013. To Captain and paramedic Randy Lundberg for heroic and life-saving actions in treating a pediatric trauma patient in the city of St. Paul on August 15th, 2013. I'd also like to recognize paramedic Kelly Madigan and EMT Larry Bartlett, who were unable to be here with us today.